Hello, everyone. Hope you are well on this Saturday morning. It is July 13th, and time is just passing by quickly, y'all. It's amazing how quickly it goes. It is a beautiful morning here, at least so far. I know it's going to be hot. Mrs. Dawg and I are going to take a break from working outside, I do believe. We need it. We need it. I'm going to cover several things. I'm going to give a prediction on what's going to happen with our current president, Biden. I'm also going to give an employment nugget. Employment is kind of it is my wheelhouse. So I will give some advice on that as well. I try to layer that into some videos. Hopefully it's helpful. If it's not helpful to you, pass it along to somebody else. Share the video. Hey, even better. Also, I think I'm not alone that we sense something big is coming. I'll speak to that a bit as well. Also have a terrific passage I'm going to share with you as well. So stay tuned for that. It's a really good one. First, though, this Alec Baldwin thing, and you can't open up social media or just trying to catch up on things that are going on in the world without seeing that just thrust in your face. I just don't care. I don't care what happens in the trial. I guess the last thing I saw, I don't even read through it. I just see the headline and I move on. But that it was dismissed, I guess, the case. But I really don't care. Eh, yeah, it was some of his early movies were cool and all. I mean, back in the 80s and 90s, I guess. I don't know. He's not relevant. I guess he still does work, but this was a tragic accident. It sounds like, as far as what this trial was about. But somebody died. But anyway, whether he was convicted or not, I just don't. Whatever. And the older I get, I was listening to things, and the list is getting longer. The older I get, this is what I think about things. Okay. First of all, I don't care as much. The older I get, I don't care so much about the Hollywood stuff, celebrities. I just don't. It's not important to me. How does that affect my life? I just don't. The Hollywood thing, whatever. They're just people. I mean, if they're good actors, so I mean, that's good for them. Good for them. They have a talent. The other thing is I've noticed is that I'm not as emotionally invested in sports and other things. Now, I do keep up. Y'all know I keep up with college football, especially, but I'm not as emotionally invested in it. In other words, I will watch my Georgia Bulldogs, and I watch other college football too. That's how much of a sports fan I am. But I'm not, whether they win or lose, I want them to win, yeah. But it doesn't ruin my day or night or whatever if they lose. It's a game. It doesn't affect my life directly. Okay, there was a time when I was so emotionally involved and invested to where if they lost, I was just down. I was down for a couple of hours at least, or into the next day, and I'm like, armchair quarterbacking, like, they should have done that, and I yell at the TV. I don't do that. I mean, I might if something good is happening and I'm like cheering, yeah, yeah, okay, but it's not to the level it used to be. Okay, and I think that's true for a lot of people. Also, we just don't want the BS. We don't. We can. First of all, we can sense the dog squeeze a lot quicker than we were younger. When we were younger, you know what I mean. And we just don't need it. Run away from it. We don't need it. Assume life is too short, right? Also, Miss Dog and I talk about this. I don't know if this is a good thing or not, but the older we get, we've noticed the circle of friends gets smaller. And I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. It just happens, I believe, and we're not alone in that, I'm sure. And we still keep up with close friends that we've been friends with for a very long time, and it may be some months go by that you don't have contact, but they're the kind of friends that when you do connect again, you just pick right up. It's like you just saw them yesterday, sort of. Or you catch up real quick, and it's always good. It's good interactions. We have several friends like that we do that with. But that circle is small. That circle is small. Okay. I don't know. I mean, share what you think. Employment nugget. And I've mentioned this before, but I'm trying to, I just see this so often. Not so much where I work. I see it some where I work, but mostly what I hear from others and observe from other people that I know is that protect your set boundaries, protect your time, protect your family time. Even if you don't have a family, protect your personal time. You know, I see people pour their life like married to the job and they think that's going to get them somewhere. It might get you somewhere temporarily, it might get you a promotion or something like that, but ultimately they don't care about you. They don't care. You might have a person that cares about, okay, but your employer does not care about you. They do not care about you. Okay, I can't say it enough. You're paid to do a job. If you're an hourly employee, for sure, if you're going to make some overtime, okay, make some overtime, but don't let it uh, get to where it stresses you out and burns you out. You do not want burnout. It's not good. If you are a salaried employee, okay, and people say, I'm salaried, I got to work all the time. No, you don't. No, you don't. You have a family and you have a life. You need to set the boundaries, but set that early on, right away. Because if you start doing 60, 70 hours a week, they're going to expect it all the time. I saw a video where a guy was like, he was so down and he said, I've worked 60 hours, 50, 60 hours a week and more, done everything I'm asked above and beyond for the last year, 2 years. I can remember long. It was a while. And they let me go in this round of layoffs so fast. It made my head spin. And they didn't even do it in person. It was over the online. And he was crushed. At least he seemed crushed. So they will let you go in a moment and they will keep chugging along without you just fine. So set your boundaries and keep to it. Keep to it. All right. That is my advice. President Biden, it's all the rage. You can't, it's all in the news. It's almost like a distraction at this point. So, but I will weigh in and say that, and I could be totally off. I could be totally off, but I don't think he's going to be around very long as far as in power. I think that at best he may finish out his term and just drop out of the running to be reelected here very soon. And I think we'll probably know that pretty soon, within a week or two. Time is running short anyway on that for them, for the Democrats. But we could also see a 25th Amendment where they 25th Amendment him on out of there. That would have to be, from what I understand, kind of pretty much initiated. I know the power base, but initiated technically by the vice president and the Congress, I believe. Uh, anyway, but I don't believe he will be on the ticket for the next term. I just don't see it. This guy is not fit. He hasn't been fit all along, in my opinion. But there's just no way, and I think it's a shame his family is not more on board with protecting him. If you really love him, and if he's your family or your husband or father, why watch this train wreck continue? It's sad in a way. It really is on a human level. It truly is, and also it's a national security risk. I mean, this is very dangerous. This is a clear and present danger. This guy can't handle an emergency. He can't handle anything. They're telling him he's taking his orders by who knows, who knows. So this is very, very dangerous. So, especially all the things going on in this world right now. Such a crucial time. So I have to believe that he's not even going to be on the ticket. Okay. Uh, if he is on the ticket, if they run this guy and go with him, I don't see how, if it's a free and fair election, it's a big if, I do not see any way he can beat Trump. So I believe Trump would win that. If that happens, good Lord, hold on tight, because I tell you what, uh, 2020, what was that when 2020, the summer of that, when every major city was on fire? That will look like a little campfire compared to what's coming. That may happen anyway. That may happen anyway. Every major city and maybe smaller cities. So, and I'm not trying to be overly dramatic. I'm not trying to be fear mongering. I promise you, this is just my opinion. My opinion. Okay. I think it could be crazy, crazy, like way, way over what people are even thinking. Okay. Um, AT&T, in case you missed this is not being reported by the news much, very, very little. It's been kept under the rug, but nearly all of AT&T's over 110 million customers, their call and text interactions have been exposed in a massive hack. Hackers accessed records of calls and texts and social security numbers, y'all. This occurred in a 6 month period between May of 2022 and October of 2022. They downloaded data from over from our workspace on is what AT&T is saying. Our workspace on a third-party cloud platform. They also access records from January. This is interesting. This is very specific. January 2nd, 2023, for a very small number of customers. Makes you go, what's going on there? So that was very specific, a hack. But social security numbers, y'all, this is placing millions of people at risk for ID theft. So if you've been a customer of AT&T for a while, you need to check into that, check your account, check with AT&T, call them, see what's going on, if you've been exposed, what can be done, etc., etc. So I just want to get that out there because it hasn't been widely reported, so you may not even know about that. Okay. We sent something big for sure, just like kind of what I was referring to. There's several scenarios. If they run old Joe, I think the odds are Trump would be elected if it's allowed. Now that's a whole nother argument you could make, which I understand. They could 25th Amendment him out, have Kamala in there and run her. That's possible. Uh, they could select somebody totally different at the convention, I guess, put the delegates into somebody else. Of course, the big names being mentioned right now, other than Kamala, would be Whitmer, Whitmer, the governor of Michigan, and Gretchen Whitmer, and what's the guy from California, Gavin Newsom. What a slick dude that guy is, man. Whew, that guy. Anyway, so that's possible, but it'll be interesting to see what happens. But I just don't think it's going to be Biden. I really don't. This guy, just watching him over the last several times, train wreck city, y'all. But yeah, I think the calm. I think we're kind of in a calm before the storm. But then again, it's not really calm, is it? I mean, you could relative calm. I think compared to what is coming, leading up to November. And actually, it could be even more so between November and January and beyond into 2020, early 2025. Compared to that, we're in a calm right now, my opinion. So all the more to take advantage of this time as you can to ramp up and or fill in preps. Ms. Dawg and I have been thinking about it and kind of trying to inventory what we have. Remember, one is none, one is zero, two is one. In other words, so as I've said before, grab a few extra things. Somebody's going to say, I know, I can hear you typing now. Somebody's going to say, Dawg, I'm broke. After we get paid and pay the bills and all, we're essentially broke too. An extra can or two of beans. We can do that. You can probably do that. You're on the internet. You have the means to probably do that. Okay. Uh, Look at other things. Fall, winter is coming up. Depending on where you live, your winters may be more harsh than what we see here in Georgia. But think about that. What are you short on? What's wearing out? What can you refill? What's expired? Ms. Dawg picked this up at a pretty good deal. I think it was Amazon, but anyway, something simple like a camp stove. We thought we had one of these already, but we didn't. So one of the kids, I think we might have given it to one of the kids. But a camp stove, Think about Christmas coming up. Not that you do Christmas presents, but think about ways you can help somebody that's just starting prepping, or something you can give them that's preparedness related. Something like that is kind of a prep item, but a lot of people, if they camp, even every now and then, you're kind of giving them a prep item without them even knowing about it. You know what I mean? So just things that can be useful like that, y'all. Uh, but food, water, of course, your medical stuff. Pet food, pet supplies. Don't forget about our pets, y'all. All right. And the winter, like I said, fall, winter preps. Look at your automobile, your automobiles, your vehicles in general. If you're in farming or you have a garden, think about that. What's going on with that? What can you do? Your medical. Miss Dawg and I both went to the dentist this past week. It's not fun. I don't like going to the dentist. I really don't. There's something about somebody having their their hands in your mouth. I know they wear gloves and all that, but it's still, it's not desirable. It's not something anybody looks forward to. But we got to take care of the teeth, okay? Because it's essential to your health. That's just an example. Other medical things that you've been putting off. Think about going ahead and making that appointment. Get in there. Because time is short. The hour is getting late. All right. I'm going to go to the passage because, tell you, it's a good one. It is good. All right. I may have read this one before at some point. I'm in 2 Timothy, but it's been a while. Actually, I think I saved this on my device. But 2 Timothy, the first part of chapter 3, and I'm going to stay in 2 Timothy for a little while now, going forward after today, in other words. So 2 Timothy chapter 3, Paul is writing Timothy and being kind of a guide, a mentor to him. But mark this, there will be terrible times in the last days. People will be lovers of themselves, lovers of money, boastful, proud, abusive, disobedient to their parents, ungrateful, unholy, without love, unforgiving, slanderous, without self-control, brutal, not lovers of the good, treacherous, rash, conceited, lovers of pleasure rather than lovers of God, having a form of godliness but denying its power. Have nothing to do with such people. The last sentence, have nothing to do with such people. He covers a lot right there, and I think you could agree that we're seeing all that right now, even more on a higher scale. You know, even just on the roads, it's a lot of meanness. There's a lot of meanness out there on the roads, y'all. I know y'all drive. Most of you probably see this. I can't drive. I can't pull into my neighborhood, and we live off of, somewhat busy highway, not super busy. I can't pull off into my neighborhood without somebody just about ripping the rear end bumper off my truck. I mean, I have a 20-year-old truck. I don't care if it gets dents. It's got dents already in the back bumper. But I don't need any more. I don't need the risk. Yesterday I'm trying to pull in, and there's a little turn lane, but dang, before I get in the turn lane, they're eating my rear bumper. What's the use in that? What did that save them? 5 seconds? You know, it's people lose it when they get in the dang vehicle. So, anyway, that's just a small example, but I think we're seeing all these things today. So, guard, be on guard, be on guard. So anyway, I hope that was helpful. Let's be safe out there. Be aware of your surroundings. Let's stay in the Word. Stay close to Jesus. God bless you. I'll see you soon.